One.
Good morning, friends. Today is Friday, April 17th, 2020. And today is our last day of the week. And so I thought we would talk a little bit about what our theme was, which was things in the sky. And so I wanted to talk about all of the different things that we saw and that we talked about, and maybe mention a few other things that might be up in the sky. We in our stories we talked about George and the hot air balloon, right? And he got to go up in that basket in the sky. And remember, there's fire that comes up here like this. And we talked about the little girl that wanted her daddy to bring her a piece of the moon. We talked about birds and all of those silly birds that man read us a story about. And Mrs. Malekish has another story posted for you today from Facebook or from YouTube. But let's think about some other things that we might have seen. If we look up in the sky in the morning, sometimes we'll see these up in the sky. What are these? You're right. These are clouds. And is the moon the only thing that is up in the sky? No. In the morning, if we're lucky, we'll get to see a sun shining his light over the earth and helping everything to grow green and strong. At night, is the moon the only thing that's in the sky? No. We have stars, don't we? We have stars that twinkle and shine and that we sing about in Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. There are airplanes that fly through the sky. And some of them bring passengers and people that we love to visit us, with pilots and stewardesses and windows so we can see as we go. There are bugs that fly. And we talked about bumblebees, and they fly. There we go, got bodies and their little tiny wings. And their stingers. What else flies? Do you know that there are even flying squirrels, but Mrs. Malekish is not going to make one, all right? But there are many things that are up in the sky, and tall buildings, the tops of tall buildings are high in the sky. Mrs. Malekish worked in a building that was 36 stories up in the sky. And so there are many things in the sky, and we talked about a few. And when you're going about your day, keep looking and seeing what kinds of things. Oh, sometimes if you get a balloon at a party and something happens and you let it go, you'll even see balloons floating in the sky. So as you're going through your days, look up and see what kinds of things you see. All right? Tall trees look like they're going to stretch to the sky. And towers, tall towers. When you go into San Francisco, you can see towers that are up on top of hills that look like they're trying to reach the sky. And so there are many things that we could see and talk about and tell stories about. Mrs. Malekish wanted to read you one more story because it doesn't really take us in the sky, but it kind of talks about it. So I wanted to end our week reading this story. Guess How Much I Love You. It is by Sam McBrotney, and the pictures are by Anita Jerem. Little Nut Brown Hare, who was going to bed, held on tight to Big Nut Brown Hare's very long ears. Do you see him here? Right between his daddy's ears. He wanted to be sure that Big Nut Brown Hare was listening. "Guess how much I love you," he said. "Oh, I don't think I could guess that," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "I love you this much," said Little Nut Brown Hare, stretching out his arms as wide as they could go. Big Nut Brown Hare had even longer arms. "But I love you this much," he said. That is a lot," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Little Nut Brown Hare. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "That is very high," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I wish I had arms like that." Little Nut Brown Hare had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and reached up all the way up the tree trunk with his feet. "I love you all the way up to here," he said. "And I love you all the way up to your toes," said Big Nut Brown Hare, swinging him up over his head. Look how high they went. "But I love you as high as I can hop," smiled Big Nut Brown Hare, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above. "That's good hopping," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. "I wish I could hop like that." "I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river," said Little Nut Brown Hare. That looks like a far way. "I love you across the river and over the hills," said Big Nut Brown Hare. That's a lot of big loving, huh? "That's very far," thought Little Nut Brown Hare. He was almost too sleepy to think anymore. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes out into the big night sky. Nothing could be farther than the sky. What do you see over here? "Oh, I love you right up to the moon," he said, and closed his eyes. "Oh, that's far," said Big Nut Brown Hare. "That is very, very far." Big Nut Brown Hare settled Little Nut Brown Hare into his bed of leaves. He leaned over and kissed him good night. Then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile, "I love you right up to the moon and back." The end. I always love that story, but I like the idea of it getting us to see how high, how big, how far the love is for each other. And I hope that you feel that in your heart about people that are around you, that they love you that much. I'll look forward to talking to you on Monday morning. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe and keep getting outside and exercising. Bye-bye.